Okay, let's dive right in. The world of AI moves incredibly fast, and right now, all eyes are on one of the biggest partnerships out there, Microsoft and OpenAI. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of news, so we're going to cut through the noise and give you the direct brief on what's really going on. Let's get to it.
So, what's the bottom line? The absolute headline. It's this: the core partnership is unchanged. Yep, you heard that right. Despite all the headlines you might have seen about new deals, the foundational agreement between Microsoft and OpenAI, it's standing firm.
Okay, so let's get into the headline here. They're reaffirming a central alliance. But what does that really mean in practice? Well, we're going to break down their official statement piece by piece so you know exactly what's what. And listen to the words they're using here. It's pretty deliberate. The partnership remains strong and central, building on years of deep collaboration and shared success. See, they're not just saying, hey, we're still friends. The words strong and central are huge. This isn't just a side deal. They're saying it's the absolute bedrock of their AI strategies. And you gotta remember, this whole thing didn't just happen overnight. If you look back, it started out in 2019 as basically a research partnership. Then, by 2025, they were already reaffirming the key terms. And now, in 2026, we're seeing this new phase of growth. But, and this is the key, that original core is staying the same. It's really grown from a cool experiment into an absolute monster in the tech world. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to do a point-by-point briefing on the unchanged core terms. Think of these as the three pillars holding the whole thing up, the parts that the statement says haven't changed one bit. First on the list, and you could argue it's the most important one, intellectual property, right? The IP. Who owns the secret sauce and who gets to use it? Okay, so check this out. The deal is that Microsoft keeps its exclusive license to OpenAI's IP. They also have exclusive access to the models. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You hear about OpenAI teaming up with other companies, say Amazon. Well, the statement says that kind of thing was always contemplated. In other words, the original contract was built with the idea that OpenAI would make other deals, but it was designed so that it wouldn't water down Microsoft's special exclusive possession. Pillar number 2. Revenue and commercials. Yep, we're going to follow the money. How does it all work, especially now that there are other players at the table? And this part is really telling. The ongoing revenue share arrangement remains unchanged and has always included sharing revenue from partnerships between OpenAI and other cloud providers. This shows you just how smart the original deal was. They planned for this. So when OpenAI makes a deal with another cloud company, it doesn't break the system. The money from that new deal actually feeds into the original revenue sharing plan with Microsoft. It's pretty brilliant, really. And that brings us to our third and final pillar, the role of the cloud. This is the engine room, the infrastructure that makes everything run. And the details here are super specific and super important. Okay, quick tech explainer, because this is crucial. We need to talk about stateless APIs. What are they? Just think of them as a direct, clean phone line to the AI model. You ask a question, it gives you an answer. It doesn't remember your last call. Every single request is brand new. This is the pure, raw pipeline for getting access to OpenAI's models. Now here is the absolute kicker. Microsoft's cloud, Azure, is the exclusive provider for all those stateless APIs. Let that sink in. This means even if a request to an OpenAI model starts on a competitor's cloud, that request has to travel through Azure's infrastructure to get processed. It's like all roads for that raw AI power lead back to Microsoft. And of course, OpenAI's own big products, like Frontier, they still live on Azure too. So this probably has you thinking, right? If the core of the deal is so locked down, why is OpenAI even bothering to make new deals with other companies? Well, it turns out the whole thing was designed for flexibility. This ability to grow was baked in from the start. The big idea was to create a partnership that gave both companies room to breathe. They wanted to build a structure that let them work super closely together, but also gave them the freedom to go out and chase new opportunities all on their own. And this really breaks it down perfectly. It's a tale of two strategies working together. On one side, you've got OpenAI pursuing these new opportunities, right? Partnering with Amazon, getting involved in huge projects like Stargate. But on the other side, that core partnership with Microsoft is rock solid. The IP exclusivity, Azure's unique role, none of that changes. They're not fighting each other. They're really just two sides of the same coin. So let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What does this all add up to? You've got this incredibly stable, powerful core alliance that's built to not just survive, but actually thrive in the crazy, fast-moving world of AI.
And this is how they wrap up their official statement. They go back to the mission that brought them together in the first place, to ensure that AI benefits people and organizations everywhere. It's their way of saying that beyond all the business deals and the tech specs, this is what it's ultimately all about.
Which really leaves us with one big question to chew on. In this super competitive AI race, is this the new model for success? A stable, locked-in core with flexible arms that can reach out and explore new things. It might just be the blueprint for the future of tech partnerships. Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.